Hello, all, and welcome to the Fantasy and Sci-Fi Fanatics podcast. I am your host, Daniel Coolbaugh. Today, I have me a very special book review. It's my friend Ben Schenkman, fellow urban fantasy author, and just want to let you guys know about his book, My Brother's Keeper. So, in terms of this book, I thought it was absolutely amazing. Definitely a 5 out of 5 for me, and I'm going to tell you why in this video. So, if you check out My Brother's Keeper, I'll show you guys the cover here in just a sec. The cover is absolutely amazing. I'm big into covers, as you guys know. I love designs. I love designing covers. I'm hoping to get back into some things in terms of Adobe Premiere, Photoshop. Ben actually suggested Affinity to me as I was helping another one of our friends finish up his new book covers. And yeah, I really love just like the designing process and what really comes behind it. So when Ben sent me My Brother's Keeper, the cover, I was like, oh man, this is absolutely amazing. And he told me just a little bit why, without spoiling anything in the book. He did certain things for the cover, and it was super cool. So again, book's called My Brother's Keeper. It's book 1 for the Cycle of Ash series, and absolutely amazing titles, names for everything. And Ben also has written My Boss is the Devil series, so make sure you guys check that out. His other separate series, Let's Sleep in God's Lie, book 1. I'm really excited to read that one. I'm a little behind with my reviews, so this is one that I had to get out there because the book is going to be out in a couple days. I believe he said on March 30th. And I'm really excited to, be able to share my review with you guys today. So thank you so much. Let's check this out. All right. So I'm going to share my screen so I can show you guys this amazing cover. Boom. So if you check this out, this is an amazing, I hope that worked. It looked like it did work, so cool. So if you check out Ben's amazing cover here, so I love the typography, first of all. I love like the ashes that were falling down. Get it? Cycle of Ash. I love the matchbox. You'll see that that matchbox in particular has certain significance within the book. All I'm going to say, you got to read it to find out. And Ben was sharing some pictures of the paperbacks the other day when they came in. And I'm going to have to buy a signed paperback. So that's totally fine because I'm going to clear some stuff out. That's some older stuff from some of my students, some of the things like they kind of wanted to read, and I was reading for class, and I'll have a little bit of room left on the shelf. So there's a spot there waiting for a signed copy paperback of My Brother's Keeper. So if you guys take a look here, again, the full cover is really cool. It just has more of like the flames and stuff like that on the back, but I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. I liked it myself. Now, in terms of my review, let's get into that. So the book blurb itself is, Max Asher, Jewish mystic and private eye, never thought he'd be coming back to his hometown to bury his twin brother Solomon. He definitely never thought the funeral would turn into a case, but when Saul's widow Gabby asked him to investigate the cause of death, Uncle Max is on the job. When Max kicks the demon's nest, he uncovers a conspiracy that forces him to reevaluate everything he thought he knew about his brother. Unfamiliar local politics blur the line between the supernatural and the mundane, and soon fighting for justice becomes dangerously literal. If Max can uncover the murderer, he might just save his brother's soul, but if he can't, he'll fall victim to the same deadly fate. Putting the past to rest is going to take more than a shovel full of dirt. I love that last line. Ben really opens the book at the funeral here for Saul, and Max is literally like shoveling dirt onto his grave and things like that. And like going with like Jewish custom and things like that, which was really cool to learn about within this. I would really like Jewish urban fantasy, and I thought it was really cool how the blurb ends there, and then you literally like start at that moment, almost quite literally. It was super cool to kind of come full circle like that. And I felt like the blurb, personally, I felt like after I got done reading the book, I felt like I got exactly what I was promised within the blurb. So if you like your promises kept by your authors, I would definitely recommend this book. So analysis in terms of the writing style, I really enjoyed this writing style from the first chapter. It felt really personal from the main character, Max's perspective. The first person perspective really gave you a lot of context for the emotions of the main character. It made you feel as if you were in his shoes or tagging along with him as he tries to figure out his brother's death and why he died. So the story, again, really fast paced. I didn't feel that Ben wasted one scene. I'll be honest, I didn't think he even wasted one word within this story. Everything read really within like a movie within my head. I feel like in terms of Ben's ability to craft the words just themselves, just from a style aspect, he was really like a master smith in terms of getting what he wanted from me, at least in terms of my emotions at certain times. I felt at key points within the story. And the story really had me wanting more all the way to the end. So I'm really excited. I texted him right away. I was like, I need book 2 as soon as you possibly can, which is a great feeling to have, I think, for both, reader and author. So after I finished the book, again, I messaged him. I asked, like, when could I read the next one? I really can't wait to see more of the world building in particular. And I love the magic system. Both were just super, super cool. The world felt like it had a lot of depth to it. And the magic system in particular felt like you could add a lot of layers to that onion, and we're just peeling a few back. So the magic system, again, it felt as if it could be real, present in our world, which I thought was really cool. I really enjoyed how it was described, and really how it was set up within the world itself. I think a lot of people, they have cool magic, but maybe they don't set it up, and Ben really set us up along the way to learn more and more about it, to by the end you felt like you knew what you were doing. We got a great glimpse into what feels like a much wider, expansive world in terms of this first installment. I feel a lot of this has to do with Ben's writing style and his ability to make you feel the stakes of the story, and really feel for each of the characters, if I can be honest. So my favorite character, of course, Max. I had to say Max. Not because he's the main character, but because I'm really liking the TV show R.J. Deckard with Scott Piedman playing the main character, R.J. Deckard. He plays a down-on-his-luck former journalist turned private investigator. Max is written in a reminiscent way, I would say, of R.J. Decker's character, and his yearning for the truth and in figuring out the mystery behind everything, and really wants to find the truth of really what happened. This allows us to go on the journey with him as he discovers really those twists and turns of his brother's death. So if you like that TV show, it actually came out after Ben sent me this book, but I was like, oh man, if I could pick like a TV show, I would pick or a character, on TV to, be reminiscent of Max's character. I thought that R.J. Deckard and Scott Speedman were kind of perfect within that series, kind of set the tone, I think. Similar tone to the investigative style and things like that, or the thoughts that Max has, which are really cool. So the place he takes us along the way, I feel like really totally made sense, really adds to the depth of the story, in which we get to see more of the world that Ben has built for us, and see how he has created the depth, really, that so many people love to see in a world like the Dresden Files or Iron Druid Chronicles, Patricia Briggs's Alpha and Omega, or main series there, Mercy Thompson. So everything feels like you get this glimpse, but then by the end, you don't feel like you're swimming, if I can dare I say it, like Steven Erickson's first chapter, Gardens of the Moon. That one, I felt like I was just thrown into the bottom of a cup here, but Ben really, I think, kind of gives you a little bit, and by the end you feel like you have drank the whole thing and come back up, and you really feel, really good and I think comfortable about it, and it really, again, makes you yearn for the end of that story. So in terms of this character, Max, I really feel he's written him in a way that feels relatable and realistic with this mystical world that Max exists in. Max's ability to be single-minded in his purpose helps to drive the reader along with him to ensure that he has resolved his issues with his brother by solving the riddles of his death. They're a little estranged at the beginning, so that really adds good context to the story. I found myself feeling a lot of empathy for Max and understanding as a brother where his dogged determination to get answers to his brother's death would come from. Deeply felt remorse that he carried for not having been there when his brother died and needed him the most. I feel like that would be really horrible myself, but I felt a lot of connection to Max there for that. Ben's ability to use Max's perspectives and emotions really transformed the story from just another urban fantasy tale into one that really mattered to me, and one that felt really personal. Like I said, I felt that Max's character and Ben's choices for him throughout the story and his background really enhanced this story and gave it more dimensions. The book's effectiveness, the first book in this series, really fun, did a great job building a complex magic system, making you feel like the world itself was vast and intricate, really from that first chapter. Solving this mystery with Max, a private investigator, was a great way to tell a story in an urban fantasy setting, I felt like. I really liked the way that Ben outlined the chapters and beats in the novel. I felt like they were perfect, to be honest. I was like, a perfect recipe, or like that perfect slice of pizza. You know what I'm talking about. It really helped the pace. I felt a little exasperated by the end, in which I believe was his main point, and I feel like I had to read the next one. Left me yearning more, for more. I need to read that next book in the series as soon as Ben has completed it. Really can't be overstated. Cannot remember the last time I have needed to read the next installment this badly. I love the story, found the characters beyond interesting in a lot of different ways, and I really fell in love with Ben's urban fantasy world. On really all the characters he placed within it. Those secondary characters as well were just unique and interesting, particularly for the urban fantasy setting, but they still felt, as part of like the tropes, if you will, or they felt like they belonged there. So that was super cool. They weren't just cardboard cutouts in the galley seats, so to speak. I thought My Brother's Keeper was the best introduction into this world. I really do look forward to seeing more of these characters, this story. So all you guys got to go do is go pick it up as soon as you can. Go read it, and don't forget to review it, my friends. Again, My Brother's Keeper by Ben Schenkman, 5 out of 5 stars. Thank everybody so much for your time, and as always, happy reading, my friends. See you guys.